How y'all doing today? My name is Ja Ali, and I'm coming to y'all to speak about childhood trauma and what I experienced, and many other men have experienced along their life's journey. Um, I want to start with let's see, 5. What happened to me at 5 years old was very traumatic. It changed the course of my life. I wouldn't say for the worse. It changed it for the better. What happened was my father had got incarcerated, and till this day is still incarcerated. So I had to live with my mother. Um, Upon living with my mother, it was a lot of ups and downs, a lot of moving here, moving there. So, as a young child, that was very traumatic. It's very disturbing. And it was a lot to process. It's just a lot, so much going on. Can't really say I could stay focused on one thing because, as soon as I focus on one thing, I'm moving somewhere else. I create friends and then I gotta lose those friends to move out this place or this place or that place. And, once I finally connect to be myself and be free, it's like it gets snatched away. So let's talk about elementary school. Elementary school is sort of like a blur, but I do remember certain things. Like doing those reading reports that you have to do in elementary school for Pizza Hut. I never read those books. My mom just wrote it down so I could get a free pizza. Because that was something I wanted. So that was a big habit I picked up at a young age, and it wasn't okay. I was told no a lot. I never trusted my instinct because I was told no so much. I had an incident in school. I asked the teacher, could I go take care of something? She said no, and I sat there. And till this day, it's one of those things that I still held on to, but I definitely will, or I definitely am, and have forgiven myself for that, for not trusting myself, not trusting my inner child to know when something is wrong, to not trust my gut feeling, and going with what I felt was right. I never really, I think because of, my father not being there, I never really knew how to stand up for myself. Elementary school, I got bullied. Yeah, it's like, doesn't make sense, but it happened. I was in fights, getting expelled, getting disciplined by the principal. Back in the day, you used to get the paddle. Had plenty of those. Just being being bad. But I did find, there was love there in the elementary school from my teacher, my chorus teacher. Yeah, I appreciate her so much for showing so much love. Like, it was real. Elementary school was a real time for me, especially not having my father there, not being able to call him. The only thing I could do was write. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure a lot of other men out there can contest to that. Or, they went through the same thing. A lot of times we don't talk about it, but I feel like it's one of the things that I want to talk about now. Like, I want to talk about my life, my journey, like my struggles, my downfalls, my upbringings that I know that was wrong, and the beliefs that were forced upon me that were totally wrong. It wasn't right. Yeah, my mom was a single parent. At the time, it was just me. Then, my sister came along, and then, a lot of things started to change. I was told no more. I was not receiving the love that I desired to receive. The only person that really, gave me that love when they could was my father through letters, through multiple letters. My grandmother, I love her so much. It's one of those praying grandmothers, man. She prayed for me all the time. And I give thanks for that. My granddad, he was one of those tough love people. But, gave me very valuable information. My other grandmother and grandfather, it was like one of those tough love, bitter hate things, but they still showed me love. I give thanks for that. A lot of times, even in middle school, I always wanted to get away. Like, I never wanted to stay home. I wanted to get away. I wanted to get out, like, escape from it all. So I always wanted to go to my aunt's or my grandparents' house. That was like really my only escape from what I was going through. And then upon this time in middle school, I was able to, speak to my father sometimes on the phone. At the same time, still receiving letters, knowing that, he always sent his love. He always loved me. I always reciprocated what I needed. Even though I wasn't getting it at home, majority of the times it was just, in my words, horrible. So whenever I got a chance, I totally escaped. If it wasn't like trying to do sports or, stay in my room, play video games, or, just something to get away. And upon this time, my sister was getting pretty much what she wanted. The attention, the whatever, you name it, whatever, she got it. She was spoiled. And the difference was, my mom had a lot of envy towards my father. And I seen it a lot growing up. She felt some way about him or something he did to her. I would, it would be taken out upon me. And there was moments where I rebelled, for what she did. And what she was doing, because I knew it wasn't right. At a young age, I knew it wasn't right. And I knew it wasn't okay. I believe no child should go through that. None at all. And I totally believe that a lot of males are messed up because of their mothers. I wanted to be the norm, to be okay to talk about it, not holding it in, holding in your hurt, because holding it in is not gonna get you nowhere. You're still gonna be stuck. You're still gonna be that same little boy when you first got hurt and you don't know how to get over it. You don't know how to get past it. You're still gonna be stuck there. So this is me expressing to y'all, everybody, how I felt when I grew up, because I want more people to chime in and to, connect and to be okay, to speak out about how you felt growing up or what you felt, because we know it wasn't right, it was wrong. Yeah, there's a lot of things I wanted, I couldn't get, I couldn't receive. It's like, on the other hand, my sister got everything, and that was very traumatic. Like, it's supposed to be, a yin and yang. It's supposed to be balanced. Like, if I want something, I get it. She wants something, she get it. But I didn't experience that. More towards high school, I definitely seen it a lot more, especially when I got more into sports like basketball and football. Basketball, I pretty much had to ask my family, my relatives, to help me pay for basketball, pay for summer's camp. My mom, she wouldn't do it. There was always something, always some excuse of why, but I always had family that supported me, good childhood friends, like people that was like mentors to me, that helped me along the way, that assisted me in that. For basketball, football, I played 1 year. Didn't even get to pay for it, but I played. My coach just let me play. And it got to a point where I couldn't even play sports no more. I had to work. And, be the man of the house, which I was told not by my father, but my sister's father. It was very traumatic. Like, how can you tell someone at 16, 17, you're the man of the house, but not knowing that you place trauma on a little boy at a young age? It's like, how can I be the man of the house? It's impossible. It's not possible. And it was wrong for another man to tell someone else that wasn't his child that, even if I was his child, it's still wrong. It's not right. I spoke to my father, not about so much back then. I was just so happy to, hear from him. I think a lot of times I was, in and out, I was nonchalant, but I was grateful to, hear him, speak to him. I was grateful to go to my other grandmother's house, spend time over there. She instilled a lot of discipline in me. How to fold clothes, how to fold towels, and put the laundry up, and do certain things that I know I wasn't doing at home, because it's just the atmosphere there. I didn't want to be there. Went to school. School was pretty much an escape from it as well. Like, then when I had to go to work, like I started working, that was horrible. Very horrible. I think I still should have had my freedom to explore myself more, sports. Had to pay bills. Had to pay a car note at 16, 17. Um, had to pay cell phone. I had to get a cell phone. Like yeah. The car was my car, but it was in my mother's name. Let's talk about that. So it was two cars. They both was in my mom's name, but I was paying the notes on them. High school. I was paying the insurance on them, and it really put a bad taste in my mouth as far as like, even if I wanted to go buy a car or um, make payments on it, like it put a real sour taste in my mouth. Like I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to buy cars cash, and it is benefits from buying cars like that, but not the way, not at 16, not that way. Um, First car, yeah, if I'm ready, yeah, but 16, I wasn't ready. I didn't know myself, and then to be forced to have to pay for a car and car insurance, and I didn't even have a bedroom. Like I didn't have a bed frame. I didn't have none of that. From living in apartments, Section 8, we moved from one apartment to another apartment. It was multiple times I had to wake up early, drop my mom off, and make sure my brother and sisters got to school. Then I had to go to school. It was just a lot. Like it was a lot. And sometimes when I guess my mom didn't think I was mature enough, my cousin, which was a year or two older than me, had to watch us. Like it was so much. And she would be upset. She wouldn't pick me up from work. I had to get a ride to home. One time she got upset with me, and then I couldn't take my own car to go to work. It's horrible. It wasn't right. It's like I would never do that to my child. But hurt people hurt people. People that experience trauma in their childhood do the same reciprocation on their own children. I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I can't come to you. I can't speak to you. I can't talk to you about any of my problems. I had to talk to somebody else. Her answer was, you can always talk to me. But she never made it seem that easy. I could speak to my aunt about anything. That was my only outlet. And my father, when I got a chance to speak to him, because I wasn't a writer. Like I didn't want to write my father. I wasn't a poet or something. I wasn't no author, no book. Wasn't doing all that. But I made the best of what I had, what I could. And even when I couldn't play sports in high school, I turned to culinary, nutrition and wellness. Senior year, I was in a high school culinary program at Rockdale Career Academy. It was fun. Definitely got my mind off a lot of stuff that was going on at home. Around this time, I was still able to talk to my father. I had a few friends, but They weren't all that good. Not truly. They wasn't true friends. A lot of them was just there. Yeah. For mothers to be the creators, they don't realize they could do a lot of damage to the little boys, to the children, period. Period. You know, to this day, I might ask my mom a question, and the first thing she does is get defensive. It's like I want her to be able to openly express herself and not get defensive. And I can admit I got a lot of traits from her, a lot of traits from my father. It's time to let them go. They can't stay here anymore. Because I'm my own human being, I'm my own person. I can't let what they did define me. I got respect for both of my parents. I love my father dearly. Mother, not so much. Better hate relationship. I'm keeping 100. My father do more for me where he's at than my mother does, and she's free. She's out. She's, but that's how it is. I see a lot of parents, a lot of mothers like that, just before I got home, I seen his mother walking into a beauty supply store. Both her children way in the back, they on their cell phones, not even paying attention. Mine don't even walk behind me. I need you to walk in front so I can see you. I can't see behind me. I can see in front. Just don't walk too far. And then, a lot of the grandparents, like my mom, want to do better by their grandchildren, but it's like you had the opportunity with your child. And it's like you want to do right by them, like their grandchildren, but it's like you had to start with me. It's like you can't skip the one that procreated your grandchild. You got to start with me. Can't skip me. You can't skip a whole generation. It's like I know a lot of her grandchildren, she still do the same thing. She show favoritism. Like my sister's little girl. They anything they want. It's just not okay. It is not okay. I need people to realize and be aware of what, just be aware of what you allow people to do to you. You have the right to say no. Nobody has no power over you. You got the right to say no. Like, no, I don't think that's right. Nah, my spirit don't sit well with it. Cause I had to tell my father that the other day. Like he wanted me to do something for somebody he knows, a friend of his. I said I can't, and I won't. He felt some way, but I'm like, Father, I love you too much. And I know that person's offspring did something to you. And I said, my loyalty is to you. Before that person, I told him no. He totally understood. He didn't say anything else about it. We moved on about our conversation. So I say, yes, my life was very difficult, very chaotic, very traumatic, but it was what I went through. And so many people, I tell them about my story, but it's like, does it really hit home? But I totally know this one will. Because it has to get out there. We as men have to talk about this. We have to. Because if we don't save ourselves, who will? Peace, y'all.